If your abundance isn't coming, what am I making that mean? Does it mean that I'm a failure? Does it mean that it's not working? Does it mean that time is working against me? Does it mean that you're disappointed? And then kind of looking at that and unpacking that and talking to yourself about that, having a play with that and kind of going, well, this is interesting because time is present. Maybe I've lost my ability to keep my focus. Abundance is an inside job, and your intuition is the key to unlocking it all. Hello and welcome. I'm Rebecca Davison, founder of the Intuitive Life Academy, the leading place to develop your intuitive and psychic gifts. As an ascension guide and light leader, I'm committed to bringing you all the latest tools, developments, and the neuroscience available when it comes to the art of effortless manifestation. This show is for lightworkers and for those who identify that your intuition is your greatest guide to bring you happiness, expansion, and money. With my corporate banking background, you'll receive practical advice along with all the energetic tools that you can apply in your life today. So if this resonates with you, let's jump into the world of abundance and learn what it takes to experience true freedom. Hello and welcome everyone. This is Rebecca Davison. This is Intuitive Abundance, the podcast. You're listening to episode 19. And today I want to talk about the journey of abundance, which may prove not as popular as some of the other podcasts. And the reason being is I want to talk about time and the journey of abundance and how often we want to manifest instantaneously, but often what we want to do is we want to take a long-term view of our manifestation journey, because when you're choosing to calibrate or tune in or embody abundance, it doesn't always happen overnight, right? And what I have noticed on my own personal journey is that you'll receive information and often the ego will dismiss it as thinking that it's not important or it's not valid, and then you learn some more and you come back around and then you're like, oh, this is interesting because this is similar information that I've heard before, and here I am in this place where I'm choosing to embody it at a deeper level, but I did actually know this previously. So hopefully that makes sense. But what I'm talking about is how over time, our journey, we're going to keep on wanting to come back and go deeper and deeper and learn what it is to embody the energies at a deeper level. So we really feel abundant in our body and our energy field more often than not. We're doing the work to focus our attention, our thoughts, which are creating our feelings in a particular way. We're really becoming the master of self, or master of our own abundance. And of course, what can happen is, people distort time. Often when I'm working with my clients, it's one of the things that I see people get distorted on the most. And it's not necessarily just particular to time, it's particular to receiving what we want in a particular time frame. So one of the questions you want to ask yourself if your abundance isn't coming is, what am I making that mean? Does it mean that I'm a failure? Does it mean that it's not working? Does it mean that time is working against me? Does it mean that you're disappointed? And then kind of looking at that and unpacking that and talking to yourself about that, having a play with that and kind of going, well, this is interesting because time is present. Maybe I've lost my ability to keep my focus, or maybe some old default thought patterns creep in, which are saying, oh, it's not working for me. And of course, when you're in that thought process, what do you start attracting? It doesn't work for you. So I'm talking about the process really of embodying abundance over a period of time and the journey of abundance, and how we want to be really in that place of enjoying the journey rather than feeling like we need to get to a particular destination. Because often too, if there is energy of needing to get anywhere, we can often end up in a place where we're putting limitation in place, right? If I have to do this, like if I have to make a certain amount of money way, or it has to look like this, we're often placing contraction around it, as opposed to enjoying every moment, being in the energy of openness, appreciation, gratitude for what's happening, for enjoying our work, enjoying our clients, enjoying whatever it is that we're offering, enjoying our contribution, going into that place of like, it has to look like this for me to feel okay. And again, we talk about this a lot in Law of Attraction, which is you can't put the cart before the horse. The horse doesn't know how to push the cart with its nose. It only knows how to pull the cart, right, with a saddle on, etc. Or a harness rather. And being the person who realizes that you need to show up and be in the energy of, I'm trusting that the universe has got my back, I'm following through on what I desire, I'm listening to my intuition and getting the guidance and taking the action from that, I'm choosing to tune into those frequencies that feel really good, maintain my focus and my commitment on that, and then through Law of Attraction I will just naturally start magnetizing to me what it is that I want. Now, what can happen too, folks, is when we listen to this information, we can go, yeah, I can do that. But what happens over a period of time, and we get impatient, and then we start making it mean something, as opposed to staying in the energy of that neutrality, or saying this is still working, even if we don't have evidence to support that. And this is often really hard for the rational mind to reconcile, and also our ego. Our ego loves this kind of stuff because it goes into, a bit of a spaz attack around it. It goes into the energy of, it's not working, I can't see what I want to manifest, this Law of Attraction stuff doesn't work, it's all woo-woo, it's all rubbish, it's all garbage, like the stories start coming, and then of course we put that into our field and that's what we create. It pushes our desires away, we don't manifest what it is that we want, we end up frustrated, and we can feel it in the physical body, right? We can feel the contraction, we can feel the discomfort, we can feel the frustration and annoyance, and then of course, right, we have to get ourselves back into flow, and not from a place of like the mind just telling the body, hey, this is a good idea, we need to get back into flow. We need to get back into the being. And the being energy is totally authentic, right? The being energy, and have you ever done this with your own ego, where your ego's gone, okay, so I know this is in my highest and best interest to be in this energy and state. So then it's like you're trying to push yourself from the rational mind to get the outcome that you want. And of course, that doesn't work so well. We want to just be, and we want to flow, we want to glide, we want to move effortlessly. We don't want to be in that space where we're pushing or forcing anything, because then it doesn't feel good. And especially in terms of manifestation, like you would agree that most people would rather magnetize and attract rather than feel like they have to hustle, right? They have to go out there and make it happen. People would much rather be in the energy of, I want to attract this. But again, if you're not doing the inner work to face your fears, or to put yourself in a place of being where your energy is really expanded authentically, like not through the rational mind, but through the physical body in terms of feeling it, being it, experiencing it, that's going to be not so easy, right? And we can't get to that place of being from forcing our mind to think certain ways. We do need to do the inner work so we are aware of what feels good. And this is the point that I want to make about the journey of abundance. The journey of abundance in the first instance, you want it to be the journey of learning how to feel good for as long as possible. And when you are feeling good, how can you create, that when you feel good, how can you use that to create more momentum? How can you amplify it, or get really excited and then focus that attention towards what it is that you desire? Being specific and going, but feeling good being your predominant focus. Because you think about it, folks, no matter what's happening in your life, if you're feeling good, you're going to be more open, you're going to have a probably better sense of self, a better balanced mood in terms of being able to deal with stuff that comes along your way. And this is reality when we experience things that bring us contrast and our ability to be able to respond to those things that we experience. That's where our power is. And if we can stay open for as long as possible, no matter what is happening in our environment externally, then we're going to be in the driver's seat. We're going to be the ones who are really mastering our energy and our vibration and being able to direct our focus and attention on where we want it to go and still maintain that momentum and feeling good. It's going to be so much easier to manifest what it is that you want, rather than going into thought processes of, oh, this isn't working, or I'm not going to be happy until I get to this place. Again, also known as destination addiction. I've talked about that before. When all my ducks are lined up in a row, then I'll be happy, or this needs to happen first and then I can receive that. And again, that's very linear, rational mind thinking. Whereas, of course, from your soul, you're just wanting to be in a space where you feel good as much as possible, and also too, to feel safe. And also, all of this happens through our perception of reality and what is occurring in any given moment. And, more often than not, unless you're actually faced with a physical emergency, there's no emergency occurring. And this can be really easy to get caught up in, especially if you look externally into the outside world. If you're really sensitive to energy, sometimes it's actually better just to keep yourself away from social media in terms of buying into the collective fear consciousness that can be out there, to keep yourself in a space where you're feeling safe. Because you think about it, as soon as you don't feel safe, you kind of shut everything down. It's easy to want to go into defensive energy, and also too, that fear gets activated. It shuts off all your energy, you contract, all your valves get closed off in terms of being open to receive, and you get into that contracted space, and that's not where you want to be in terms of being able to create a life that you really love. So in terms of the journey, right, see it as, go for the long game. Like, manifesting instantly is fun, but see yourself as the person who wants to master this. Be the person who's prepared to be committed to showing up each and every day. If you do that, if you set your really strong intention, I intend to master my abundance. And again, to be definitive, to be in the energy of no matter what, I am going to make this happen. Because often what will happen, I've seen this before a lot. People will go, oh, manifesting, that's all phooey, right? Because they've tried it for a period of time and then it hasn't worked, right? Because they haven't been consistent. They haven't shown up. They haven't done the inner work. They haven't been prepared to explore or do some self-inquiry to learn what's up with them and what might be holding them back from experiencing it. Whether it's even being able to maintain their focus or not to go into a story when what they want isn't showing up in the time frame that they expect. I think this is a big thing for a lot of people, is to learn the art of patience, which is interesting that I say that too, because on the human level, yes, we all agree to the elements of time, 24 hours in a day, the lifetime that we live, growing older, etc. It's a human condition that we adhere to. Whereas you think about it from your soul's point of view, your soul is beyond time. Your soul doesn't operate with a timeline, it goes beyond time and space. So the duality of having to reconcile our soul self with our human self. So you can see, the more time you spend in your soul self beyond your human self, and that is the commitment, spend time in those energies and frequencies, the easier it's going to be to start seeing beyond time results in your physical reality. But you have to make that commitment. You have to be the person who's like, I'm committed to making this work. Whatever it takes, I'm going to be an amazing manifester. Whatever it takes, I'm going to be a master of my own energy. Whatever it takes, I'm going to have an amazing energetic boundary so I don't pick up other people's stuff, right? Especially if it's low vibration. I'm going to be so aware of my own energy. I don't drop my vibration no matter what, because my priority is to keep my energy really expanded so I can manifest really effortlessly, that I can tap into that deep potential that I know is inside of me to be able to create a life that I really love, that I can get so good at focusing my energy and attention that I can see tangible results in my physical reality, right? Making that commitment really good at this. And that doesn't come from just your mind, right? You want to make that decision on the mind level, but you're really instructing your subconscious and also your soul. What you're saying is, I'm all in. Right, this is going to happen come hell or high water, being definitive. I've made the decision from my mind, my body, and my spirit that I will become an amazing manifester, that I will become a multimillionaire, if that's what you're choosing for yourself, that I will be the person who creates an amazing impact for other people, that I will be the person who helps other people to calibrate to their infinite self so they know their own power, their own wisdom, their own ability to create what it is that they want in their life. You know, I love doing intuitive work. It's just amazing. You know, I get to see miracles every day. You get to see people do things that they never thought were possible. When people are working with energy, frequency, and vibration, they do transcend all the human-bound limitations where their mind says it's not possible and then they go ahead and manifest it, right? But choosing to be the person who's in those frequencies, and the person who's choosing to be an amazing manifester is a person who's choosing to enjoy their life as much as possible. Right? Having juicy conversations, having amazing connections, having deep intimacy with the people that they love, right? They're using their conscious awareness to create in every moment, right? What is the energy here? What is the vibration here? Does it serve me to be in this situation? Would it serve me better to be in another situation? I.e., if you're around somebody and their energy and vibration is not great, if they're not solution focused, it's probably better to remove yourself from that situation. Or it might be better to have a conversation and say, hey, do you think we could find the solution here? Do you think we could be a little bit more solution orientated rather than just blaming or criticizing or judging? Because again, when we do that, it closes our vibration. It shuts down our energy. We want to get really good at taking full accountability for our reality. We want to get really good at being the people who are like, you know, if I'm fortunate, maybe I've got another 40 years on the earth plane, and what do I want those 40 years to look like? How can I squeeze as much juicy goodness out of them as possible? And starting to really think about this. And, you know, not waiting until you're in your older years to do a bucket list, starting to think about it now. What brings me the most joy? How can I get the most joy out of my particular circumstance? And sometimes this takes a little bit of creative imagination, creative visualization to go within the parameters that I have. How much joy can I squeeze out of this day? You know, we're in lockdown here in New Zealand again, and we've been so fortunate here because compared to the rest of the world, we've done really well in terms of not having to go into lockdowns as much as other countries. But you know, and again, we all understand, so there's probably not so much fear perhaps as last time. But if people are asking those questions, of course, how long is it going to last, etc. But again, where are you focusing your attention? What's important is, am I enjoying my life? How can I squeeze some joy out of today? You know, I'm staying with family at my mum's house and just being in that space of spending time with her and hanging out with the cat and being with family members, right? Being with people that you love and hanging out in an environment. We're really lucky. It's a beautiful sunny day and getting enjoyment out of that. You know, making sure that the vibration is good in the environment that we have and being grateful for that. This is the moment-to-moment manifestation process. My moment of manifestation is now. How can I feel good now? How can I make the commitment to expand my energy more now? And being the person who's willing to be aware of that in every moment. And again, because it's really an integration between mind, body, and spirit. Your body's going to tell you if you are holding contraction. Your body's going to tell you if you've been triggered by something. Listen, pay attention, start asking some questions, right? Like mastering your mind. So if you're noticing that you're having terrible thought processes, that you're doing the work to shift that. You're doing the work to redirect your focus and attention. So important. And also too, a lot of people will go, well, you can't control what you think. And it's like, no, because you can never, you know, the origin of thought It just comes out of the void, really, a lot of the time. However, over a period of time, you can literally train your mind to look for the good. It's called reticular activation. If you keep on teaching your mind, I'm not open to the negative, look for the good, your mind will look for it. Guess what that does in terms of how you feel and how that impacts your energy, frequency, and vibration? You can train your mind. You can make a choice if you're noticing that you're having a thought process that doesn't serve you to choose something different. People don't underestimate that. They think that they don't have a choice in regards to what they think or in regards to what their circumstances are, so therefore they don't have any power over their emotional responses. You do. And if you want to be the master of your world, of your creations, you'll be the person who's prepared to be aware of the responses that you are having. How can I feel better than this? What's a thought that I can think that is going to contribute to me feeling happy? Even if it's something that happened on holiday 5 years ago, you have a choice in that moment to continue thinking something that doesn't serve you or to change your mind and think about something else. Right? And I'm not talking about circumstances where maybe somebody's passed away or there's been an accident. Of course, those circumstances have an impact on us, and you're going to be the one who's going to be discerning, right? It's going to be totally appropriate for you to have whatever emotional response, but you will know the difference between when you're telling yourself a story and when you are actually in a situation where it totally warrants being present to your emotions and feeling them and witnessing them and loving them and accepting them and allowing them to move through. You can tell. Your body, again, will help you be discerning in regards to what's totally appropriate to sit, process, and feel versus this is a story that I'm telling myself. And often those stories look like, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve this, and you will have compiled evidence to convince yourself of that. And sometimes we need to just do a little bit of work to kind of go, okay, what's it going to take to deconstruct where I've accumulated that evidence, and so I'm in the belief that that is true, that I'm not good enough, so I can actually just let it go, go back to the truth, which is you've always been worthy, you've always been good enough. You just constructed a story and maybe an identity around it. And what does it take to let that go? So you can just go back to that place where you can focus on what feels good. So you can see, folks, for a lot of the time, abundance is a choice. It's a way of being. It's a lifestyle in a way. A choice to live in a particular way, which is choosing to focus your attention on what's good. You know what it feels like when you focus your attention on what's not good? And if you just boil it down and it's a simple choice, what are you going to choose? There's always a better feeling thought that you can choose, like a thought that's going to make you feel better. So we want to get really good at exercising our mind and going, okay, what is the better feeling thought that's true and positive that I can think right now? How does that impact me when I choose to focus on that? What does that do to my thought process, my energy, my frequency, my vibration? How can I embody more of that? So the journey of abundance becomes way more enjoyable and way more fun. So again, just takeaways from today's podcast, right? Is just really see your manifestation journey as the long game, right? Make the commitment to get better and better and better. Do the work to tune in to what it feels like to be abundant, right? What does it feel like in your body? What thoughts are you thinking? How are you showing up? What are you doing, right? Asking yourselves those questions and being committed to that, you will make leaps and bounds in your manifestation journey. But if you're pushing yourself to get a particular manifestation, you want to ask yourself, why? Why is this so important? Why am I focusing on this in such a way that I'm making it more important than actually enjoying my life and the journey? So it's a little bit of a A long game versus instant gratification game. You want to go for the long game, right? You want to become the master. You want to practice and play and get really good at it and enjoy yourself and see it as a moment-to-moment manifestation journey that you're just going to calibrate and get better and better and better at, and enjoy yourself in every moment as much as possible, rather than kind of trying it a couple of times, getting frustrated or annoyed because your manifestation didn't show up, and then giving up and going back to default thinking or ways of being. That's not going to create what it is that you want. The people who learn how to manifest and do it really effectively, they make the commitment to do the inner work to have it show up in their outer reality. So that's really all I want to speak to today, folks. Thank you so much for your feedback in terms of enjoying the Intuitive Abundance podcast. I really do appreciate it. Soon I will be launching a program called Calibrate to Joy, which is going to be 2 calls a week over 3 months. I'm super excited about it. If you'd like to learn more about that, you're welcome to come and join us in the Facebook group, which is on Facebook under the Intuitive Life Academy, Creating Profit for Lightworkers. I'm sending you so much love. I hope you're choosing the long game in terms of your manifestations, and also too choosing to be the person who becomes the master of their own energy. It is so much fun when you make that choice. All right, folks, I'll look forward to talking to you in the next podcast. Lots of love. Bye for now. Bye. Thank you for joining the Intuitive Abundance podcast today. If you've enjoyed the show, please be sure to subscribe and write us a review so we can help other people positively impact their lives. I would really love that. If you're ready to activate the energy of abundance within you, then be sure to go to www.intuitivelifeacademy.com to sign up for our abundance activation process. Until next time, here's to your ever-increasing freedom. All my love. Bye for now.